everybody, and welcome back to the Who's He podcast with me, Phil.
And me, Scott.
And on this episode, well, it's a bit of a bonus episode, really, because we said last week we weren't going to be here. But now we thought we could squeeze in one very, very quick podcast and have a sort of little quick catch-up on some of the news items, or one news item in particular, that has been doing the rounds. And also a little news update on this podcast as well. So, hope you're all doing well out there. So for those of you who haven't listened to this before, we are a Doctor Who podcast. We cover all things Doctor Who on this show. So welcome if you've never joined us before, and welcome back if you have. So, let's get on with the news, shall we? Yes. So, now really, it's only one thing we wanted to discuss, and that's the reason we're sort of really here. Is that Mark Gatiss, as you know, was written for Doctor Who before, and also sort of appeared in a few episodes as well. He's been promoting Series 2 of his series Bookish, which I haven't actually seen the first series. No. Actually, we couldn't get it at the time, but I think it's available to watch online now on the U.
I believe it's on U and Alibi.
I think so,
which you can't actually get on the actual U app. So
no, you can't.
It's a paid
It's a
app.
separate thing, exactly. So I'm not paying for any more apps,
No.
but I've heard it's very, very good, and I did actually want to watch it. However, he's been sort of doing the press rounds, and obviously because of his connection to Doctor Who, he's been asked about the future of Doctor Who and the whole tender process. And he did say something which I suppose you could take as being a bit doom and gloom, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would you say it was, Scott?
It's pretty sad approach to it. But then again, it's probably to be fair, what we're about to say. To be fair, again, to be fair, is that we don't...
To be fair, is that we don't actually know what is fair. Oh, God, this is convoluted.
Very
right, okay, well, let's just go...
You get what I mean.
Let's just go through what he said anyway. So, he fears that Doctor Who could sort of disappear from television again. And he's basically saying that the current plans for the series, with it being put out to tender, feels very familiar to what happened after Doctor Who was cancelled in 1989. So he says he has a doomy feeling about the programme's immediate future, but he does believe it will return at some point, but just not as soon as I think we expect or hope it would come along. So this is what he actually said. He said, I think the BBC putting out to tender is a perfectly great idea, but we've been here before. When it was cancelled in 1989, the BBC made a big statement saying we're committed to taking Doctor Who through the 90s. They then put it out to tender, and it just quietly didn't happen. And I have a feeling maybe that's what's going to happen. So what do you reckon that was? Do you reckon he's right there, Scott? Do you think it might quietly not happen? Because it has all sort of... I know the last episode we spoke about Electric Entertainment and BBC Studios.
Well, to be fair,
and the whole tender thing.
They haven't started the actual process yet.
They haven't, no.
But it is more reassuring that there are people wanting it.
Yes, there is.
But then again, I do think there was companies wanting it in 1989 as well, probably. So, I don't know. It really depends. Again, it's another 50-50 thing. Is he right or is he wrong? Obviously, we can't prove he's right or wrong because we've had no confirmation yet. And also, if the tender definitely doesn't happen in the next year since it's been announced, then it's definitely not happening.
Yeah,
if it takes that long for it to be released. I must admit, on the one hand, I'm hopeful that yes, they will put it out to tender fairly soon, and there'll be a big flurry of bids to make it. However, I'm also on the pessimistic side, and long-term listeners of this show will realise I am quite pessimistic. Is that I think it will just quietly go away, as Mark Gatiss said. I really do think that is a possibility. Actually, he does go on to say, he says, I feel very doomy, but it's true, it's fine. I think the fact that it's coming back so successfully means it will come back again. It's not a one-off 26-year run, but I think maybe it's just time for a proper break. Because you want people to miss it and have fresh ideas, and probably someone to run it who grew up with David Tennant as the Doctor rather than Tom Baker. I agree.
You agree?
I don't. I am sick of 50-year-old men running the show now. Get new people. Stop handing it between each other. Who's next? Stephen Moffat's coming back. Chris Chibnall's back again.
David Tennant's back again at 90 years old.
Mark Gatiss is coming back again.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I
like the fact I like the fact he's reading in between the lines. I think he's firmly put himself in that camp as well. Because he grew up watching Tom Baker, as I did.
I like how he hasn't said, "Oh yeah, it should definitely be me being judged."
Well, he's never going to say that.
No, it's more or sort of saying, "Oh, I don't know, we should definitely get new people in." It's sort of specifying it down to a specific, like, category of people that should run the show fresh again. Yeah. Obviously, when we went back to 1989, even though it got cancelled, the stories were getting better because there was new, fresh writers coming into the show, adapting on concepts like the Daleks, Ben Aranovich and the Daleks, Remnants of the Daleks.
Which is your favourite ever.
It's so good.
One of your favourite writers,
so
isn't it,
good.
Ben Aranovich? Yeah.
Read Rivers of London, just a little.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. I don't know. I think even though it was still dying and the people behind the scenes would clearly had a disdain. I can't say properly. Disdain.
Yeah.
Disdain,
I think to be fair, I mean that a lot of that is down to Andrew Cartmel back in the day, because he did bring in fresh new writers who were going to do different takes on how to do Doctor Who.
And they were some really good stories.
But to be fair, Chris Chibnall brought in some new writers. RTD did bring in some new writers. So did Stephen Moffat. They all brought in new writers.
RTD didn't bring in as much new writers as we hoped. I mean, his first season, we thought we were going to get 2 new writers as well. Oh, brought back Stephen Moffat. Not saying Boom. Boom was like the standout in series 1. I have to admit, or season 1.
Yeah.
But still, get somebody else in.
Yeah, I know. But I think the problem is with Doctor Who since it came back is the showrunner writes the bulk of the episodes, and then they rewrite the other episodes as well. RTD's famous for rewriting stories. Moffat does the same as well. So they all do it. But I think that's the thing. If you don't trust the writers you've brought in, then why bother at all?
I don't have a problem with one head writer writing lots of stories and using help and having like a team of writers as well. Well, I think there should be a head writer and then it's like
But it shouldn't be the showrunner. They set that. I think they set the vision for that particular series, or their vision for the Doctor, or whatever it is. Then those writers have to sort of stick to that Bible, as it were. But that's the thing, though. I think they did try Writers' Room with Chibnall, and it wasn't that successful. They did try that.
But Chibnall did.
I thought it was a good idea, personally. I like the idea of a Writers' Room.
Chibnall did write a lot of stories in his. I mean, he wrote every single story in Series 13. Obviously, there was COVID and stuff, but still, he wrote every single story. There's only one co-writer, and that was Village of the Angels, and the whole series.
And that was the best story out of all of them.
Or War of the Sontarans, which they were 2 really good episodes, I thought, when I first watched
But anyway, we're getting away from what we're discussing about, the whole tender thing. Yeah, I mean, what you said there about people growing up with David Tennant as Doctor rather than Tom Baker, that's absolutely fine. But what we've had recently from, I'd say David Tennant output, not been that great. So if that's your first exposure to it, it's not that wonderful, to be fair. So and again, there's this whole thing of leaving the past behind, not being so sort of reverential to old Doctor Who villains and that no one's ever heard of. Only people like me,
like bringing back,
has heard of. Fans like me, 50 plus years.
The Candyman or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Episode 7 in the series.
But what about though? Do you think, as Gatiss says there, maybe it's just time for a break? Do you think it's time for a break? Do you think there's something in that?
I feel like we already get breaks. Like, we sometimes just have big gaps of only having specials a year or having no series at all kind of thing. I feel like we already get those breaks. I mean, we missed 2009, that was just specials. We missed most of 2012 and 2013, that was split in half. So we didn't get much Doctor Who then, even though there was 13 episodes still. Like, it was split. We missed 2016, 2019... And we also missed 2022, and we didn't get series 2023 either, and that we don't have one this year. There might have been specials for them.
Well, we're not going to get any for the foreseeable future.
3 episodes, and it's not a series. It's not the same. So
no, it's not. I think do you know what? I think maybe it is time for a break, because maybe it's the natural order of things. Really, maybe Mark Gatiss is onto something there, because the original series had that kind of 25 years, then basically stopped.
But I don't...
This has more or less had the same. It's had 20. Was it 20?
20 years actually.
20 years, yeah.
Exactly 20 years.
Yeah. So there you go. 2021. So yeah, it's 20 years. So that's it. Maybe it's time to.
I don't think it's
that's
time,
the natural cycle of it.
I don't think it's time for another 16-year break, though. I think that's too much. That's just ridiculous.
Well, I must be honest that maybe it will quietly go away, as Gatiss said there, because I know there's good people going to disagree with this because they're more optimistic about Doctor Who. But let's just think for a moment that we were promised a Christmas special this year just to keep Doctor Who running tight loose ends and all that. That was put out by the BBC and RTD.
And then
they both, with very quick succession, said, no, it was all a ruse. It was never going to happen. Nothing was ever written.
Why did you say it
BBC
in the
changed
first
their
place?
mind. But that's what I'm saying.
You made the situation worse than it already was.
Yeah, so I think saying we're going to put it out to tender, it could happen, but not as quickly as people think. I think there could be a few more years. I don't think the BBC's got a lot of problems at the moment, and I know putting it out to tender helps produce TV shows. They go into partnership with other production companies. But I think at the moment they're in so much trouble financially. They're making massive sweeping cuts. They've got to say 500 million a year.
I mean, next year by 2027, someone predicted that they would have run out of money or something.
Yeah, so I think producing a show like Doctor Who, even with another production, in partnership with someone else, I think it's a tall order, and I don't think Doctor Who will be coming back anytime soon. I think we are in for a very, very long break.
I think 5 years would be good enough. I think if we went past there, then basically it's over.
Yeah.
But compared to 1999, we did see there was books, but the writers then some of them adapted their lost stories, like the season 27 stories, for Big Finish. We still have Big Finish. Some of the writers there could go to Big Finish.
Well, that's the thing. We'll always have Big Finish.
We have Circuit Breaker, so we still have YouTube. There's YouTube out there, so obviously YouTube is still out there.
Yeah.
Doctor Who YouTube channel, they're still running promotional events and stuff like that. I mean, Circuit Breaker, it's not dead. It's just not booming.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just sort of gone on in other media really, rather than television. And we got the CBeebies show is coming up next year as well, but that's aimed at preschoolers. It's not going to be hardcore Dalek Davros action, is it? Come on, let's be honest.
I think I also agree with the point of bringing. We already talked about it a bit, but bringing. I know we talked about the new writers thing, but as you said about how the show would be made, I feel like there could be a head writer in a team of writers because you wanted to separate the whole show or anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like I feel like each season should be made up of a team of writers. And more episodes should be written by 2 people instead of 1 person, because I often find that the 2 people writing an episode actually makes episode better. Look you said about Village of the Angels.
Haunts of the Villa Diodati was another one as well.
That
was a brilliant episode. Really
The
atmospheric.
Well,
yeah.
The Well's a really good episode.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you could say Rogue. I didn't like Rogue very much.
I didn't like
some
Rogue
people
either,
love
actually.
Rogue.
I know.
Clearly it was successful. I'm not saying it wasn't
I think if
successful.
you're into teen romance, then people like Rogue. I'm not into teen romance.
I didn't.
That's based the level of that story.
I didn't really care that there was a romance in it at all. It was more of why the hell. Why did they start?
Let's not get it bogged down.
Why did the romance start?
I know.
So
Let's
fast?
let's not get bogged down in that again. We're not reviewing Doctor Who. I think there's something in what Gatiss says here, and let's be honest. He's not completely divorced from Doctor Who. He probably still moves around in those circles, and he's not going to have too much insider information about what is happening at the BBC, and he's not directly connected to it. But there must be talk going on that he must have heard some rumblings somewhere.
I mean, he's a pretty famous Doctor Who writer.
Yeah,
so,
and fan as well, actually. Yeah.
I mean, he might have not written the most popular episodes. I mean, it says on there that he wrote The Idiot's Lantern. Probably one of the not great examples to put for an episode he wrote, because I think that the ending of that episode is shocking. But even though he might not be the best writer, I feel like so far he's the only person that's probably giving us the truth, if that makes sense. Like what is most likely to happen, rather than just giving us false hope, like the BBC was doing. If that makes sense.
No, I know.
I feel like he's not lying. Like
I don't think he is. I think okay, it's his opinion, but I think that there is something in it, and I'm inclined to. Unfortunately, I'm inclined to agree. There is part of me though that does hope that yes, the BBC will put out the tender later this year, and which we're nearly at now. Let's be honest, we're nearly in September. So yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be a bit of a long wait. I really do. Now, news about this podcast. So if you're one of the very few people who sort of bother to watch on YouTube, you might be, if you're tuning in again, you'll probably realise that this is going out in audio only. Now, over the last week or so, we've been, doing a bit of soul searching really on our YouTube channel. And really, it hasn't been very successful whatsoever. Our last 2 videos we put, as you probably know, if you didn't know, and it's your first time listening to this podcast, what we were doing audio versions and YouTube video versions of the podcast. So you could watch us or listen to us. Unfortunately, the YouTube versions just weren't getting any viewers at all. And I do mean no viewers at all. It was not even into double figures. And the last 2 videos we've done have just gone into double figures. And they've been out a week and 2 weeks, respectively. So it was a little bit disheartening to see that nobody was watching, nobody was really interested. So we've taken the decision to not bother with the video aspect anymore. We put in a lot of work into putting those videos together with like the editing, dropping in sort of pictures and little graphics and stuff, for things like Omega's Tack Corner and things like that. So, but unfortunately, it just wasn't working, and maybe YouTube isn't our thing. So, what we've decided to do instead is that it's just going to be published on YouTube as an audio podcast now. So, if you look at Who's He on YouTube, you will see there's a dedicated podcast channel. So, starting with this one, all of our future content will now just go up onto that YouTube section. And you can find all our previous videos on that YouTube section under Who's He. So, yeah, we are slightly disappointed that it didn't quite pay off. We enjoyed doing it, but it was a lot of work for nobody watching, liking it, commenting on it. It was pretty disheartening,
and maybe
actually.
If the views went up on the audio ones, we could go back to do video. But because it's not doing well at all, then there's no point.
It was just a waste of our time. It really was a waste of time. But, not our time,
I mean,
my time. Because I'm the one who put it all together.
It was a waste of time setting up our...
Oh, yeah, setting up sort of lighting and cameras, and it was pointless come the end. It was, not... Yeah. Yeah, it was fun to do, but then not fun to watch afterwards when nobody was watching or reacting to it.
Video podcasts are quite popular, but it just didn't work out for us.
Didn't work out for us, no, exactly.
I don't know what we did that didn't work. But...
So it's not to say we're not going to do any videos again ever. We might do the odd one now and again, but really right now we've got no interest in it. Our viewers / listeners, listener / viewers have got no interest in it either. We get not that many listeners either, to be honest.
I mean, obviously,
we've never been a popular podcast at all, really, ever. In the nearly 16 years next year, we've never reached the heights we probably should have or hoped to have done after all this time.
I mean, but obviously, you'll be videos for like when the Doctor Who Blu-ray box set's released.
Yes, we'll still. We like doing the unboxing videos. That's probably going to be our limit at the moment, I would have thought.
Hold up. This is a question. Would we be doing one for Hooverville?
Probably not.
Might. I don't know.
No, I don't think we will. I think just be audio only for Hooverville. Yes. So that's what's coming up actually in the next couple of weeks. So next weekend we're going to be doing a Big Finish story, which was was it Return of the Doctor?
Yes, the Return of the Doctor.
Yeah, which is a 13th Doctor and Yaz audio story. So we'll be reviewing that, and then the following week we will be at the Hooverville convention in Derby, which we very much look forward to each year. We've been attending regularly now, haven't we?
This is the 5th year now.
Yeah, fifth year for you. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And this was like your 7th year.
Something like that. Yeah. So so we always look forward to that. So we will be there, and we will be doing our usual little field report on that particular convention, because we always enjoy it. So that's what's coming up. But yeah, it's sad really. We did quite, so we're quite hopeful that it might pick up, but it hasn't.
I just did a thumbs up and then forgot I wasn't on video. There was literally no point. I have to speak now.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you can't just give thumbs ups to my comments.
Yeah, I agree, and then put my thumb up in the air.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it really. That's all we wanted to discuss in this particular show. It was just a quick sort of. We'll take the opportunity to record something quick and get it out quick as well. And there we go. There we are. So that's it, everybody. So we'll be back next week with The Return of the Doctor, starring Jodie Whittaker and Mandeep Gill. So until then, it's goodbye from me, Phil.
And goodbye from me, Scott.
Goodbye.